Hello and welcome to the Confident at Work podcast. I'm your host and your confidence coach, Anna Manning. And today we're talking about radical candor, how to have honest conversations without damaging relationships. So, have you ever noticed something at work that needed addressing, like a missed deadline or a behavior that was frustrating people? And you thought, maybe I'm overreacting, or don't want to upset them, or maybe I'll just wait and see if it improves. And then a few weeks later, same thing's happening again. Frustration might be growing. And ironically, the conversation that you could or maybe should have had might get harder. Today, we're talking about radical candor, and it's the idea that the most supportive thing that we can do is to be direct and care at the same time. So, this comes from the work of Kim Scott. And we're going to explore today why you might avoid difficult conversations, the 4 potential ways that we might respond when something needs to be said, how to give feedback which is clear, respectful, and actually helps somebody to develop. And I'm going to give you a simple framework that you can use in your next feedback conversation or difficult conversation. Because feeling confident at work, I don't think it's always about feeling completely comfortable, but it is, I think, developed when you are willing, at least willing, even through discomfort, to do the things that matter. So, why does having honest conversations or giving honest feedback sometimes feel so difficult? Because most of us, like, we get it that having honest conversations is probably the way to go. Giving direct feedback matters to people's development, to their growth. We know that's good. We know it's important. And yet, in the moment, we don't always do it. And I am the same. In the past, I am way better at this now, but in the past, I didn't always do it. And when I was a new manager, I really struggled with this too. And I think the radical candor model really helps you to do this well. It's built around 2 things that you, 1, care personally, and 2, challenge directly. So, care personally, you genuinely show care and respect for the person, and you challenge directly. So, you're willing to say what needs to be said. You're willing to give the feedback that might be hard to hear. So there are 4 quadrants in the radical candor model. And the first is radical candor, which is I care personally and I challenge directly. The second is ruinous empathy. So in that one, I'm caring personally, but I don't challenge directly at all. The third is obnoxious aggression, where I challenge directly, but I really do not care. And the fourth is manipulative insincerity, where, to be honest, I neither care personally nor I challenge directly. So I'm going to run you through a example through those 4 different approaches. So the example is this. Let's say you've noticed the same mistake happening a few times with a team member. If you are using radical candor, so care personally and challenge directly, you might say, I know you're working hard at this, which is why I want to talk to you about something that I've noticed. You've made that mistake a few times now. Can we have a look at this together and really think about what's getting in the way or what might need to happen? Right? You're caring personally and you're challenging directly. You're clear about what the issue is, but you're also believing in the person's ability to change it. That's where development happens. Let's say it's a ruinous empathy version of this conversation. So you care personally, but you don't really challenge directly. So you might think, oh, well, they've got a lot going on, or I don't want to knock their confidence. So you might say, oh, well, yeah, it's I fixed a few things, yeah, but don't worry about it. I'm sure that next time, you'll probably just be able to pick it up. So what does someone actually do with that? Yeah, you've cared about them because you've tried to protect their feelings, I guess, but they don't actually have the information that they need to improve. There's no specificity there whatsoever. So even if they want to do a better job, they probably don't even know how. And it can feel like kindness in the short term, but honestly, it becomes unkindness in the long term. And I always think about what Brene Brown says: clear is kind, unclear is unkind. And I try and use that principle, and actually really helps me. And most of my clients, I would say, not all, but most, if they're struggling with difficult conversations and giving feedback, this is the box that they're falling into: ruinous empathy. So they are caring about the person. They do care. And they're not challenging them directly, usually under the guise of the fact that they care about them and they don't want to upset them. The truth is sometimes they actually don't want to upset themselves, but that's a story for another day. So the other bucket that you might fall into is obnoxious aggression. Challenging directly but not caring personally. So you might say, this just isn't good enough. You need to sort this out. You've made that mistake 3 times now. Completely unacceptable. Like, what do you think this is? The fourth bucket that you might fall into is manipulative insincerity. I love how dramatic these titles are. And that's, don't care personally and don't challenge directly. So you may avoid the conversation completely and be like, oh, yeah, thanks for that work. Everything was fine. But then afterwards, maybe you're going to complain to someone else and say, oh, he's just not really getting it. Wouldn't be delegating work to him, not great. We might try and subtly influence behavior without having the actual conversation. But the probable impact of that is the person won't even know that there's an issue. And what also happens, and you may have been in a team where this happens because I think it happens a lot, is other people sense in the team that something's being avoided and they're not cool with it. They know there's a problem. And they also maybe know that you're really not addressing it, which is not a good look for you as a manager. So I said I was going to give you a nice little tool for giving feedback or preparing for these conversations, a radical candor version. So it's name, frame, explain. And again, if you Google this, you will find it. So name is that you name the behavior and you are specific. So you might say, I noticed that in the last 2 reports, you submitted them after our agreed deadline. Then frame. Explain why it actually matters. So the impact is that the team has less time to review the work before it goes to the client. We increase the risk of giving incomplete or incorrect advice to our client. And then we explain. So think impact and next steps. So you might say, can we explore what's getting in the way? What would support you to meet those deadlines consistently? So name, frame, explain. So I have a challenge for you. And it's to have a conversation this week that you've been avoiding or fudging. And if a conversation is coming to mind or there's something that you think of now, I want you to ask yourself, am I avoiding this because it's really not that important or because it feels uncomfortable? And if it feels uncomfortable, then go for the prep. Prep that conversation. Use that name, frame, explain model to just draft it out. Name what behavior needs addressing. Frame, why does it matter? Explain what impacts it having and what do you want to have happen next. Remember, being clear and direct in your feedback and in your conversations is an act of support. Clear is kind, unclear is unkind. And like a lot of things that we chat about on this podcast, it is something where it's not a one and done. You will build this capacity and this capability over time. And before you know it, you're going to end up as the person who can have the most difficult conversations in a way which is kind and clear. I know that's the kind of manager I would want to be. I wanted to be, and I had to work on it. And even if you're not a manager or you're not a leader of people, you still want to have the capacity or to build the capacity to have clear, direct and caring conversations with everyone around you, even if this is only in your personal life. I used to avoid conversations like you don't know what, push things under the rug, push it down, pretend it wasn't happening. I don't do that very much anymore because I have built my capacity and my capability to have hopefully caring and direct conversations with people. The more you do it, I think the easier it gets if you are committed to radical candor, which is caring and supportive and is going to help people to develop. And just a little tip that I think can be really useful. I heard myself saying this in a meeting recently. So I'm on a board of governors for a primary school, and our job is to challenge and to support for sure, but it's also to challenge and to, interrogate things and ask the probably quite uncomfortable sometimes questions. And I found myself saying, okay, I'm going to keep asking about this because I am here to challenge. I'm here to support. And the way that I do that is through challenging. And I know that this might be even a bit uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it. And if you're working in an organization with people, they probably want the same outcome as you too. And the way that you might get to that outcome is by being really clear and really direct and learning and growing your capacity to say the uncomfortable things and to say the things that need to be said. So think about the kind of person you want to be and where you want to get to. Growing your confidence at work includes growing your capacity and your confidence to say the things that need to be said. If you want to come and work with me, head to the link in the show notes, book a call, and I will chat to you about the challenges, the areas that you're struggling with, and I will tell you whether I can help. You can also come if you're a professional woman and join the Confident at Work program. Happy to talk to you about that too. All right. I will see you in next week's episode. Bye.
Confidence, confidence, confident. I can be confident. Confidence, confidence, confident. I can be confident at work.